Jordan Peterson, you've said that your audience is predominantly the lobsters.
Repeat that one.
The lobsters.
Tell me why.
Well, because there's nothing uglier than the lobster. They're left bitter and resentful and without purpose and adrift and hostile and resentful and vengeful and arrogant and deceitful and of no use to themselves and no use to anyone else. No partner for a woman.
That sounds pretty bad.
All sorts of things have gone wrong.
What's in it for the women, though?
Oh, God. It depends on what they want. What do you want? You want a child? Why not? Women deeply want to exert tyrannical control over others.
But what gives you the right to say that? I mean, you're making these vast generalizations.
I'm a clinical psychologist.
You've done your research and women are miserable.
Yes.
But then I want to put
Minorities too.
So it seems to a lot of women that they're still being dominated and excluded, to quote your words back to you.
It does seem that way, but I'm saying that the claim that the wage gap between men and women is only due to sex is wrong. And it is wrong. There's no doubt about that. The multivariate analysis have been done.
I'm saying that pay gap exists.
Yeah.
That's a gap between women and the lobsters. I'm not saying why it exists, but it exists.
You have to say why it exists. There's a personality trait known as agreeableness. Agreeable people are compassionate and polite. And agreeable people get paid less than less agreeable people for the same job. Women are more agreeable than men.
Again, a vast generalization. Some
It's
women
not
are
a
not more
generalization.
agreeable than
Yes,
men.
that's true, but... That's right, and some women get paid more than men.
Okay.
Because I'm very, very, very careful with my words. So I've had 25,000 letters from people who told me that I've brought them destruction.
My followers are making the lives of people that I've targeted miserable.
You
Teaching them how to
celebrate that?
negotiate. Of course.
So,
Of
do you
course.
You talked in one of your YouTube interviews about crazy harpy sisters. So,
Repeat that one.
crazy harpy sisters. So, a lot of people listening to you will just say, I mean, are we going back to the dark
That's because
ages
they're actually
here?
not listening. No, I really
The
think
patriarchal
that's, I
system
really
is
think
just
that's
fine.
silly.
And we don't
Silly. I do. I think that's silly. I really do. I suspect you're not very agreeable.
So that's the thing. Successful women, I'm not very agreeable.
Right.
But
I've noticed that
successful-
actually in this conversation.
At least
and
we
I'm
can have
sure
a
it
joke about
served your career well. If you're going to be successful, you need combative and lobsters and combative lobsters.
Well, here's a radical idea. Is it not desirable to have some of those female lobsters we're talking about at the top of business? I mean, maybe there wouldn't have
They
been
don't predict
a
success.
banking crisis.
They don't
there.
predict
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
So, for
Where's
example,
the evidence?
well, I can give you an example very quickly.
The evidence. The evidence is dominated by the lobsters.
No,
So
it's
what
not.
I'm
It's
asking
not.
You buy a evidence, it's going to cost less than a pink one.
It's partly because men are less agreeable.
Why should your right to freedom of speech trump a trans person's right not to be offended?
Because in order to be able to think, you have to risk being offensive.
The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
Gotcha.
You have got me. You have got me. You have voluntarily come into the studio. There's no comparison between Mao and a trans activist, is there?
Why not? That's the fundamental philosophy that drove the Soviet Union and Maoist China. And it's the fundamental philosophy of the left-wing activists. It's identity politics. It doesn't matter who you are as an individual. It matters who you are in terms of your group identity.
You're just
That's
saying these
murderous-
things, though, to provoke, aren't you? I mean,
Not
you
a
are a
bit.
provocateur.
I never said
You're like
anything.
the alt-right that you hate to be compared to. You want to stir the lobsters.
I'm only a provocateur insofar as when I say what I believe to be true, it's provocative. Antidepressants work on lobsters. I don't provoke. I don't provoke lobsters. There's this idea that hierarchical structures are a sociological construct of the Western. And that is so untrue that it's almost unbelievable. Your biological nature is somewhat like that, is it sets the rules of the damn game. But within those rules, you have rules.
Quit the abuse, quit the anger.
Well, we'd need some substantial examples of the abuse and the anger before I could detail that question.
There's a lot of it out there.
Let's take a more general perspective on that.
Jordan Peterson, thank you.
It's been rather uncomfortable. My pleasure. Nice talking with you. Oh, no.
You're saying basically, you're just saying that's the way it is. Is that what you're saying? You're saying that
I don't believe that for a second.
you're saying that that's what you're really saying.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's part of it. Definitely. I'm not saying that. I haven't said that. I'm not saying that at all.
But still, women aren't going to make it.
That's not true. It's not true. It's wrong. It's not a matter of opinion. It's seriously wrong.
I'm trying to work that through in my head. Yeah, it took a while.
It did.
You're saying that women aren't intelligent enough to...
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight. NANI?